Greene King and Wetherspoons, two of the UK's biggest pub chains, both of which run hotels across the UK, but which one actually gives you the better stay? Well, on this channel I've stayed in both, so let's compare them and find out who is the definitive king of pub hotels. If you're new to the channel and haven't watched either of these videos but you would like to, I will link them down in the description below. But for now, let's get right into it and start comparing these beasts. Booking process and prices. Now, of course, website design is a personal thing. People like different stuff, all right? Personally, I preferred the way that the Wetherspoons Hotel conducted the booking process. On the Wetherspoons website, it cuts straight to the chase. You put in your location, check-in dates and who's staying, much like majority of sites do. Whereas on the Greene King side, rather than straight away inputting your dates, they just ask you for a postcode. Now, obviously, when you then find a hotel that you like, because you're exploring all these different options, they might not even be available for your dates. So it can cause extra steps. Nobody likes extra steps in a booking process. Price-wise, now this also goes to the Wetherspoons Hotel. Much like the pubs themselves, they pride themselves on cheap prices. And the hotels are no exception. So whilst the Greene King Hotel cost me £80 per night, the Wetherspoons Hotel was only £66 per night. The key difference between the two being that the Greene King actually included breakfast. So of course you have to bear that in mind a bit. The total price for both of the actual full stays, including both dinner and breakfast, was £115 for Greene King and £94 for Wetherspoons. So even though you had to pay for your breakfast, it was still the cheaper option. Now, onto room quality. Now this is a section where it probably has the clearest winner. The Wetherspoons was far more modern. Now of course the Greene King hotels, what you usually find with the pubs themselves as well, is that they're in older buildings, right? Greene King Hotel love a classic looking building. However, that does mean that the hotels lack a bit in design. Whilst the Wetherspoons Hotel that I stayed in was actually really nice. It was actually surprising how nice it was, because when you think of Wetherspoons, you don't really correlate it to quality, but I can tell you what, the hotel was lovely. It had a nice new modern big screen TV, nice furnishings and a good high quality bathroom. However, the same couldn't be said for the Greene King Hotel. The Greene King Hotel was a lot more dark and dingy. The overall styling didn't really match anything, and the bathroom was cheap, bad quality stuff. And they even tried to paint white over already white tiles, which was a bit strange. So yeah, in terms of pure design and looks, Wetherspoons clears. The positive though is that neither of the rooms suffered with a cleanliness issue. I mean, there was some slight, very small issues. I mean, if I had to pick a winner for cleanliness, it would still go to Wetherspoons, but I wouldn't say that the Greene King was a problem, if that makes sense. Both of the beds were comfortable, although I slept better in the Wetherspoons. That is because of the design problems of the Greene King. Now, where it was an old building, the windows weren't very well reinforced, so there was noise. The curtain situation wasn't very well thought out, so there was light coming through and things like that. So overall, that links back to the design flaws of that room as a whole. As well as the extras that you got in the hotel, that also goes to Wetherspoons as the winner. Because yes, they did both have drink stations, wardrobe facilities, etc. However, you got biscuits and things in the Wetherspoons, which you didn't in the Greene King. And of course, the actual wardrobe design was a bit better, and just the layout of the room made it feel like there was more in there, if that makes sense. So it made you feel like you were getting more for your money. But let's talk about facilities. Neither of these hotels really flourished in the facilities, and I would put them on par with each other. They are simply what they are just rooms in a pub, basically. Both of them provided parking, both of them provided Wi-Fi, both of them are pretty accessible if you have some mobility issues, providing lifts, etc. So yeah, nothing really unique about them, and I can't choose a winner in this category. Now, food and drink, which kind of goes to show how they are as pubs themselves. Now, if you are focusing solely on price, Wetherspoons is the way to go. It is cheaper, and personally, I quite like it, but it's not for everyone and it's not the highest quality. That is where it suffers a bit, and that is where Greene King steps in. The food quality was definitely better there. So although I enjoyed them both fairly equally in terms of taste, it's clear to see that the Greene King has better food. I mean, Wetherspoons, everyone knows, it's not good quality food. Drinks, I mean, they're both pubs at the end of the day, you know, so they know how to pour a pint. But for the overall category, it has to go to Greene King. The menu range was just as good as the Wetherspoons, but you actually felt like whilst you were eating it, you didn't feel bad for eating it, and you knew that it was pretty good quality food. Whereas with the Wetherspoons, you eat it and it kind of makes you, like you would after like a McDonald's or a KFC or something, it feels like fast food. It gives that vibe. Whereas the Greene King feels like more of an all-round good meal. So this one goes to Greene King, finally. Can we see a comeback here? Do we see a comeback here? We'll find out. Location. Now, this is where I prefer Greene King locations. So the two pub chains, you usually find that Wetherspoons, yes, whilst they're more accessible locations, Greene Kings are usually better locations. That's what my experience is. I mean, it depends what you class as better. Usually when you go to a nicer town, it doesn't necessarily have a Wetherspoons, but it might have, and probably does have, a Greene King. And this case was no exception. The location, I mean, Southend versus Housestead in these two cases. Housestead is definitely the nicer of the two places. Atmosphere and overall experience. Now this one can go either way, okay? I mean, atmosphere, as the building, the pub, the room and everything goes, it would have to go to the Greene King. If you want that cozy British countryside feel, the Greene King is definitely the way to go. Like I said earlier, they're usually in older Victorian style buildings. So atmosphere wise, they are just nicer overall pubs and hotels. The experience, however, I did have a great time at the Wetherspoons. I really enjoyed it. I don't know whether it was my mood that day or something, but I loved that stay. And a big part of that was because of how good the room was. Which does play a big part in overall experience. So atmosphere, Greene King definitely clears. Overall experience, I slightly preferred the Wetherspoons, but they both have their perks. So here is the verdict. Who wins, Greene King or Wetherspoons? If you're looking at pure categories and how many boxes were ticked, the Wetherspoons is definitely the winner. It wins on price and pretty much everything to do with the room. Where the Greene King steps in is location, the building itself, and as a pub, it's better. But yeah, it really depends on what you're looking for at the end of the day. If you just want a cheaper place to stay and your main focus is the hotel section, like the room, go with the Wetherspoons. The brand name might not hold good for quality, but I can tell you what, they know how to build a hotel room. But on the other hand, if you're looking for a nice, cozy town in the British countryside, the Greene King is the way to go. The actual pub vibe of the Greene King definitely wins there. So they both have use cases. My personal choice. Personally, on my travels, I'm in the room a lot more than I would be in the pub section. So for me, I'm choosing the Wetherspoons. It's cheaper, I don't mind the food, and the hotel section is just better. And it looks like other people agree with me as well. On average, the Wetherspoons gets a rating of 3.9 out of 5, whilst the Greene King gets an average rating of 3.7. Whilst these are both close, the winner is the Wetherspoons. So that is the comparison over. Thank you very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this little battle of the pub chains, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next upload. See you next time.